Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a podcast covering Clayton Echard's journey as he's in his big paternity scandal. I'm going to share a few clips of that. I got to tell you, I am not at my strongest self right now. I am coming off of an all-nighter. So I'm going to make some content, go to Patreon, get a podcast up, and then I'm going to go back to sleep. Wife and I had to go to the hospital. Baby's not here yet. Baby's healthy. Probably won't get into anything else, but there's some concerns and things we had to deal with. So we went after spending the night kind of trying to figure things out, and just got back at like 11 a.m. So it's been a long day. I got the wife sleeping; she's resting. So I know people will have a lot of questions about that, but things are okay. Things are good. Things are good as far as the baby's concerned. She's just battling some things that was excruciating pain, but the good people at the hospital have been taking care of her. All right, follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Bachelor Rush Hour, the afternoon podcast. I've got some, I guess, breaking news that I'm going to get into, not entirely in this video, but I'm going to start looking at it. I've received what appears to be audio that involves Jane Doe and one of her past men that she accused of being the father of her unborn children. I'm going through that audio right now. I'm going to probably review it on today's Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal, or this afternoon's podcast. I truthfully don't know right now. I got to go through it all. It seems like it's actually turning into a very big story because it proves that there's a lot of lying that went down. I believe Arizona is a one-party state, which means you don't need the consent of the other party to record phone calls. And quite frankly, since I'm just the reporter who received this information, I don't think I need anyone's consent to report on it. So I will be sharing that. Just hang tight for that. I literally just I got to go through it, make sure that there's, got to do my due diligence. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, that's my playlist, The Tales of Jane. Let's go over to another. I got the wrong page up here. Wild day, folks. So let's go into it. Here's Clayton commenting on the Cabana Boys Events podcast about this, not just his case, but what happened was he commented, just like I made videos about the Trevor Bauer case where multiple women have accused him of pretty wild things, and he's proven, I guess, without a shadow of a doubt, that they lied because the federal government has opened up fraud cases and found them guilty of fraud. At least one of the parties. Anyway, the whole point of all that is it's Trevor Bauer. Any topic around him is a very hot topic because I guess there's other accusations about him. Again, none of which I think have been proven through the court systems, but by Clayton even showing that, hey, here's another person in Maricopa County that people are coming after, by even showing that he's received considerable amounts of hate and criticism. Here's what Clayton had to say.
Way better than I thought.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you have stumbled in some bad experiences. You've obviously been in the news lately about just an outrageous situation. Yeah. It sounds like you're on the other side of that now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Where we're at present day, actually, I just found out that there's Trevor Bauer. He's an MLB baseball player, and I didn't realize he had a similar situation.
I got a notification on my phone.
So I had
today.
a bunch of people send it to me today, and so it happened here in Maricopa County, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
Where this woman accused him of being or him impregnating her, and then she was extorting him for money. And apparently she had done this to someone in the past. Very, 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 very similar to my story.
Was it this?
Not the same woman.
Okay,
different woman.
To say, like, wow.
but she's apparently now facing up to 16 years in prison. So I heard that and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. I kind of hope that happens to my the woman that's victimized me is I'm like, I want her to, if all goes well, she's going to be locked up. She deserves to be locked up for I'm the fourth victim that we know of, and so. I posted about it, and it's just crazy, man. Online, like it's so agitating, but I also get to the point where I'm like, just let it be, whatever it is, because I have people in my DMs now blowing me up. He's gone full men's right activist. I'm like, this isn't about gender. I literally want justice to be served.
Right.
Why do we have to always have some type of like everyone speculation? Oh, he's now on this men's right activist train.
You know, this is an issue that I've had to deal with actually, you know, in part by people that are not just random people online, but even lawyers. I've had to deal with this with people who think, oh, Dave, you're a lawyer's a men's rights lawyer because you're looking for someone who could stick up for you. And what happens, I think, in certain cases, maybe family law in cases like this, is you find a lawyer who knows how to fight for the guy's, you know, side, because a lot of family court is man versus women. A lot is heterosexual relationships and things like that. So you find someone who can fight for your side, and then they get labeled a men's rights activist. Now, on paper, you should say, well, shouldn't men have rights? Of course. Shouldn't women have rights? Of course. This isn't one of those all lives matter type of situations, right? Men's rights activists have obviously gotten a terrible press because it's like, look, men traditionally speaking have a lot of rights. It's just a scenario very specific to this where there's a lot of men that have been extorted because, you know, you don't really question if someone says they're pregnant, or if there are cases where a guy cheats on his wife with somebody and then she says, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna go to the public, all right, what do you want from me? You know, it's like, trust me, a lot of situations it's men getting themselves into bad behavior. With Clayton's case, no, it's consensual, a consensual non-sex hookup that they had, according to Clayton. She has different accusations, but of course all signs point to him being of the on the side of truth here. So yeah, you see, like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I actually covered this in a video that's going to be coming out, I think, Friday, where I interviewed Ari Jacob, and she was being defamed and filed a defamation lawsuit case against New York Times, and no journalist would pick up on her story, and the only person to cover it was Tucker Carlson, and her friends were mad at her that she was going to go on Tucker Carlson because it's of a different political ideology, and she basically said, if I'm bleeding out in the street, I don't care who's there to help me. And I've had to deal with the same issue where we've had a hard time getting press for this story, and then people don't like the type of press that we do get. And it's like, don't get mad at Clayton for sticking up for himself and sticking up for the victims who happen to be men here. Get mad at the person who's committing all of these sort of atrocious acts that are, nightmare scenarios for these people. Get mad at her, not him.
I was like, I am not.
It's a situation that happened.
I'm all for believing people that are truthful and holding those that lie accountable.
Right.
But this is my life. And it's, I honestly, I looked at it and I saw it and I just kind of laughed and I shook my head. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. Yeah. Like, there's always going to be people that are going to hate me because they just want to hate me.
Yeah.
You're putting words in my mouth. Like, oh, I'm an activist all of a sudden. And then I saw people say, he doesn't know, Trevor's full situation. I guess Trevor's had other women accused. And I was like, I don't know his full story, but all I'm relating to is the fact that he had a woman that accused him of this, and she has been found in court to be lying about it.
Yep.
And that's eerily similar to mine.
Totally.
As far as everything else that guy's done in his life, I have no idea. I've never met the guy. I don't know him personally. I can't vouch for him.
Right.
But everyone goes, oh, he's standing behind this guy. I'm like, I'm standing behind the fact that he's had this happen to him, and I can relate to that.
It's almost like precedent was set here where we go, it's very hard for the federal government to press charges in a lot of cases that involve perjury or extortion or things like that. They have to have a lot of evidence because they have like a very high conviction rate, 95+%, right? So for Clayton to see someone in the same county as him with a similar extortion, similar kind of made a scenario up, similar hiding behind the Me Too movement, you want to look at that. So he absolutely should look at that case study.
Parallel.
Am I standing behind his entire character? No, I don't know him.
Yeah.
But that's where everyone goes, oh, he's supporting him. I was like, I don't know the rest of his story. And is that on me to learn it all? I don't have the time.
No, that's
people get frustrated. It's like, how about you ask me what I stand behind? I don't know his full story, but I can tell you that we have things that are in common. And I am glad that he's seeing justice in this case where this woman in particular is lying, and it's been proven to be a lie. The other people, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how that is. I don't know you, so I'm withholding judgment on that. But it's crazy, man. I guess I had to get that off my chest because that's just what came up today. And I'm like, can you develop a bit of like common sense and intelligence, or just ask the question, or just straight up say you hate me because you hate me,
right?
Because you've always hated me since the show, and you think I'm a terrible person. That's fine. Just say that though.
I think the majority of people like other people and don't have a lot of the scar tissue and the wounds, to just flat out hate people. But in Bachelor Nation, I do think there's a portion of audience that might just hate these guys that go on. They see them as like their ex-boyfriends, guys that are just bad guys. Most people don't. That's probably like less than 1%. But if for every group, like if you're in a community that's heavily male populated, like a sports, rooting on a sports team, there might be 1% or even more of that male audience that hates the female reporter for no reason other than it's just pure misogyny, just hates women. They got dumped or heartbroken. It's, one of those crazy scenarios. That has to be kind of true for what guys like Clayton go through. It has to be kind of true that he triggers in some people something, because here's a guy that it's such a case study that we're not able to look at him as a victim because he's got large biceps and triceps. We're not, not everybody, but a lot, but some people, they can't. And you know what? I don't know if it's an age thing, because I know my audience and the audience that's here seeking justice for Clayton, I know they do come in all ages, but it is interesting as like an older millennial to see Gen Xers say, we used to give people more of a benefit of the doubt. And is it an age thing, or is it that social media sort of gives us a confirmation bias to see the worst in people if that's what we want to see? So for those that see the worst in Clayton, they get this confirmation bias that, oh, he's supporting Trevor Bauer, this real bad guy. And then those that see the best in Clayton see, oh, he's fighting for his life and he's fighting for his character, and he sees somebody that set a precedent that some of these women will be persecuted, will be prosecuted. So it's interesting, the internet. It kind of returns to you whatever you put out there. It's a real basic example of the law of attraction. So for those that want to hate Clayton, they will find a reason to. I look at this with my own case study. We got some people out there. I don't want anyone's tears. It's not a big deal. But there are people that no matter what I do are not going to like me. And I have to be okay with it because it's none of my business. It's just none of my business. It's laughable. I mean, I had to tell my wife, she's obviously, I think my wife loves me a lot. We're having a baby. We are just madly in love. She is so glowing with her strength. And it's just, it's made me in awe of the female body and what it is capable of. I mean, truthfully. Yeah, I'm over here, my neck hurts, and she's over there, dealing with just like real tough issues, and she's doing fantastic. But she has to know that the internet's going to have people that don't like me, which is a real nightmare scenario for her. But I go, this is sadly the world we live in, where part of the tools that help us monetize our voice and connect with the world just provide us with, how every school has that like small group of people that are just bullies, and they're you can't win them over, and it's their own issue. Well, the internet's got that times a billion, and they're out there, but they will be drowned out by the positivity from our community, no doubt about it. I've been to the live shows. I had people saying, oh, Dave, you're monetizing this situation and you're making it worse. And I go, you don't even know. Because when Clayton's dad was giving me a hug, Clayton's mom was saying nice things to me, that's the validation you need when you cover this story and continue to expose this story.
Just like trolls that are just following you.
Yeah.
And
but the assumptions, I'm like, gosh, I mean, what does that say about you? Because you're putting words in my mouth that I have not said.
Right.
Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. Dude, I can't
digress all you want, my guy, but he's got a point. There is here he is. He's a mental health advocate. He is a victim of a real bad scenario. And for some reason, we can't get all of Bachelor Nation in lockstep to support him. No, a lot of people do. Out of the 400,000 people that are on the Bachelor subreddit, 4,000 have followed to Justice for Clayton. But you go, really? That's it, huh? 1%. 1% of that audience is really here supporting him in this fight. What are people afraid of? I know I'm preaching to the choir. Very fascinating stuff. All right, well, I'm hesitant to pursue what I'm about to say with any amount of hyperbole. I'm about to blow your socks off on Patreon. I've got audio that I'm going to share And I think it's going to crack some truths and some lies wide open. I'll be back with that at, let's say, 12:30 Central Standard Time, patreon.com/Dave Neal.